Yo, what's good, everybody? It's Chase. So today we're going to cover Bitcoin, ETH, and talk about what I think ALTS might be doing. As usual, big shout out to PrimeXBT. Hopefully you guys checked out the webinar yesterday. It's pretty cool. Got to talk about some cool things, a lot of good, knowledgeable guests. Go check it out if you haven't. All right, so here we are, Bitcoin. Let's zoom out a bit, right? Let's head to the daily first. I got all fresh charts here. I deleted everything. We'll mark up some charts. Just seeing, obviously this overall trend since the March bottom, big breakout here past the all-time highs. Okay, we have to view this as strength, right? You don't want to be the person to say, oh yeah, price discovery, let's fade it, because, if you pay attention to any of the stocks or anything this year that, broke above their all-time highs, they go up, they consolidate, and they go up more. They consolidate and they go up more. Now, I'm not, putting out a 50K target or anything just yet, but what I want to say is overall we are still bullish. And as I've said, right once we broke the high and we started pushing up, I said no shorts, and I've stuck to that. I haven't done any shorts yet. Overall, I have laid off the charts just a tad more than I usually do. I'll explain why as we go. Really, I just think, we have a bit of a accumulation range here that has been somewhat choppy. It's ran the low, it's ran the high, and we've yet to see any type of major move, and that typically means to me that we're going to have somewhat choppier price action. I've simply been buying dips with slightly larger stops than usual, and pretty much every time so far that those positions have gone into profit. So that's what I've been doing. And if we just take a look here, right, we can see we put in a top on the daily, and then we came down, put in a low, right? Let's mark this out. We put in a low, we swept the low, and then we retested the low. And in my opinion, that would mean that most likely we should see this area hold right here, this low. Well, not this low, but these lows right here, the retest low, I would like to see it hold. If it pierced it a tiny bit and reclaimed, that's okay. But mostly we want to see this hold. We'll mark up the upper bound here, and let's start to zoom in a little bit. All right, so we'll break down to the 4. Just want to clean this up to how I would draw it if I was on the lower time frames. And also, you'll see I'm moving my levels around, but that's just something that I do. I think, if you trade based off the daily chart, it doesn't hurt to stick with daily levels. But more or less, I'm typically trading on the lower time frames. So sometimes I will take my levels. I'll start with levels from the higher time frames, right? I'll start on the high time frame. I'll grab levels from there. But then I find that if you zoom in further, you typically get more respect and pinpoint accuracy, so to say, from those lower time frame levels that are based off of the higher time frame levels than you would just going strictly high time frame and trying to play like a 5-minute chart or something off of it. Okay, so we have a range high, we have a range low. People were asking me, oh well, didn't we sweep the low right here? I mean, that's a minor sweep at best, right? We didn't get any, no big players got any huge fills out of that tiny little move right there. Okay, this one on the other hand, a bit more significant, and I think we were down there for like 30 minutes or so. Okay, so in this scenario, people can actually get some fills. Compared to just a tiny little wick over here. That's nothing. This is the type of deviation you want to see. Okay, let's get back to where we can see this a bit better. So Bitcoin, I posted this on Twitter the other day. And first off, as we know, just overall too, why I have been relaxing a bit is because I'm in a position I'm very comfortable with. I got long off of 22.2K. I had posted that on Twitter saying I was looking for a run of the low and a reclaim. And so right when it ran this low here, came back up, I saw it attempting to reclaim, and I took my chances, stop below the low. And that's just something you have to accept sometimes. A lot of people don't want to accept the risk involved with trading, and risk is just a part of the game. Okay, so if I feel like so many people lately are really waiting for some type of crazy confirmation, especially in regards to my posts. I get DMs like, oh, are we entering? Where's the stop? Where's the target? Trading is an individual journey for everyone, and you guys really need to obviously utilize the information, and I'm happy to help, but make sure that you are, if I say I'm looking to buy on a reclaim of the range low, right? There's the sweep, and there's the reclaim. We can go candle by candle. Sweep, sort of retesting here, reclaim, and candle pulls off. Will it sometimes come back down and stop out? Sure, that's part of the game though, okay? So once again, one of the reasons why I'm sort of relaxing, I'm long off 22.2K. What am I supposed to do? And I think this is a, I could hop on a scalp account, sure. But I just don't think it's necessary considering, like I said, we've run lows, we've run highs, and we've yet to see resolution. That tells me that we're going to most likely be seeing some form of chop in here. Next type of moves I'm looking to get in on, I marked this out on Twitter. We have this overall area of resistance right here that once again we got rejected. We have a swing high here where we had a little SFP going on, right? We'll mark that out. And we have just this overall area right here that was, I marked this out as well, just to really get a picture as to where the supply is right now and where I want to see us head above. Okay, so I literally pretty much marked this out on Twitter, outside of the swing high, of course, because it had not formed yet. I was expecting it to come up and pierce. I said if it was going to, then that's an opportunity on the retest like this. Now we have not gotten that yet, so I'm still just hanging in my long, and I think even more so now that we have built up, resistance. If we break through here, look for this to flip to support. Okay, that is the play right there, and I'll probably be looking to compound my long there and start looking towards 25,000. Okay, is there anything else we need to discuss in reference to Bitcoin? Yeah, obviously, if we take out this low here, right? So say we come down, where we start doing like the bouncing ball, and we take out the low. We come back up and we retest this as resistance, right? If this turns into resistance, it may or it may not, right? And this is sort of what you have to be watching actively. If this turns to resistance and we come down and we break this low again in a fairly short amount of time, like not days in between, but probably minutes, like 30 minutes or 2 hours, 4 hours in between, we're most likely going lower at that point, and I would say we'd be targeting this area around here. Somewhere right around the high 20s, probably 21-ish, might get front run a little bit. Yeah, 20.9, somewhere around there. Okay, so like I said, I think overall that this is an accumulation range, or reaccumulation, so to say, and I would expect for this to break above here and retest this and go. Now, there's also the possibility just for it to go like that, and sometimes, hey, you miss them, what can you do? Obviously, what we want to do is we want to look for the trades that are actionable setups with good risk reward, and that would be some kind of a retest of this green box if we break through and stop back inside, and that would be your move. Okay, so that's where I'm looking to personally compound. Outside of that, this sort of middle area here has been somewhat choppy. I was going to do a post last night, but I was super tired. Really, not much point of talking about it now, but I did think that this area was going to be tested again because just had a lot of liquidity built up in here, right? We can see all this liquidity built up. We came down, we ran it all, reclaimed, went back up, now we reclaimed up here. Most likely chop in here, and hopefully, like I said, reaccumulation range, and we move upwards. So we'll be keeping an eye on that for sure. Outside of that, let's move on to Ethereum. Ethereum, as I've said, and this is going to be less full-on price action analysis and more of overall thoughts about the market now. Obviously, we'll still do some, and we'll get into it, but especially for ETH, look at this breakout, right? We spoke about this. Huge breakout, strong consolidation. ETH. Breakout, deviation so far. I noted that in my last video, by the way. Literally when price was up here, right? Price was up here, and I said this is looking more like a deviation to me. Okay, deviated, came back, rejection, and now we're back below the level. Okay, I have a feeling now. This is nothing but a gut feeling, and when we're talking about gut and we're talking about bias, you have to be able to switch like that. Right? The people who sit on their bias forever are the people who get screwed. So if ETH comes up and reclaims, I'm perfectly happy to change my tone. If it like reclaims this area-ish and it comes up, move through. Not really any type of actionable trade right there, but I'm just drawing like an example. If it happens to move up and show some strength up here, then I'm happy to change my tune. But right now I have a feeling that it seems like so many people are trying to get positioned into ETH for this catch-up move, this move to 800, et cetera, you see it everywhere, right? In my opinion, I don't know if ETH's making that move until Bitcoin makes its move up to, 25 to 30,000. I think that might be the time where ETH really catches fire once it can't be ignored anymore, and it has to go. Because to me, If ETH was going to go, like I said, it would have had this shakeout wick, and it would have consolidated up here like Bitcoin's consolidating sort of near its highs right now, and it should be continuing to go. But it looks like, especially if we looked at ETH-BTC, which looks quite weak. I know it's at support right now, but it looks, just it's been bleeding out, right? So if people move over to ETH, I think long term, medium term, long term, say, over the next 2 months or 3 months or something, I think you're going to be fine, right? But I think very short term, people are looking for the immediate move to 800, and I'm not necessarily seeing it because I'm just not seeing the same strength from ETH that I'm seeing from Bitcoin. On Bitcoin, we're seeing an obvious breakout. On ETH, we're seeing basically what looks like a deviation so far. So I want to see BTC, and this is sort of my overall strategy right now, somewhat what I talked about yesterday on the webinar, is I'm, spot BTC mostly, some spot ETH, margin trade on BTC, buying the dips, because BTC is what's strong right now. I'm sticking with it. Outside of that, I'm looking for BTC to make its next move, and then I'm looking for majors, like the new majors, to catch up. We're talking like YFI, we're talking DOT. If you look at some of these major DeFi coins, they are below when BTC broke out. Okay, they're not following whatsoever. They attempted to follow. They attempted to follow. They got rejected. This, what was the day of the BTC breakout? Was it the 15th? Yeah. Okay. The 15th. Look at YFI on the 15th. It had somewhat of a pump, right? This is the 15th when BTC broke out. It pumped, completely retraced, flipped it to resistance. So I'm looking for BTC to move upwards strongly, right? And just like we had that uni trade where it was sort of set and forget, I'm probably going to do the same type of thing with YFI. And as always, I'm open to change my bias if price action shows me otherwise. But I'm looking to see YFI run this low as BTC pushes towards 25, 28, 30,000. YFI runs this low, BTC pushes towards 30, maybe a blow off top towards 28, 30, so to say, pulls back towards the 26s, 27, consolidates. That's where we're going to see ETH, YFI, DOT, all these coins. Hopefully they'll be bleeding out. We'll get amazing entries. And obviously this is an optimal scenario. I'll be ready to change my tune if I need to. But run this low, and that's when we come up and we just start shredding, right? See this big resistance here around 30,000. These alts just come up, rip through here, flip support, and just start pushing towards the highs. Okay, that's my plan. That's what I'm looking for. And you can basically put that type of idea onto basically any type of alt, especially the DeFi alts right now. I'm talking YFI, DOT. Those are the main two that I'll be watching for margin plays, trying to catch, a sweep of this area into this support level, targeting the highs, talking 160% on leverage, right? So that should be pretty crazy. Those are the type of moves I'm looking for right now. I don't feel the need to get chopped up in the middle of all this. I have a great BTC entry. If you're looking for a BTC entry, we've already talked about it. We know what to look for on the downside. We know what to look for on the upside. Okay, hopefully this video is very helpful. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great day.